Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Take It Back Live TV. Now requesting our time. Our time. It's your time. So as promised, we were supposed to be here yesterday with area fada of all fathers. But by the time the aircrafts took off and landed in Abuja and we made our way to his house, it was too late. And I particularly had a bad cold last time. But today, we're happy to announce that the area father is here with us. We have to thank him for spending time with us tonight. Area father, thank you for coming on our show.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, and it's important to let people know that this couch is your couch. People think that you are rich. How come you have cheap couch in this house?
I'm a simple man by nature. I live a simple life. I don't overdo myself. I stay in my lane.
Yes.
I fly low, and I watch my environment like a hawk.
Amazing. So, in the last 1 year, you have done a lot. I remember in 2017.
Sometimes it doesn't feel like it.
I know. Let's go there. I remember.
Sometimes it just feels like I'm talking to myself. Sometimes.
It doesn't feel like an echo chamber?
No, it's just like, who is listening? It's just like, are they really getting the import of what I'm trying to say? I've been adjust myself as they talk to. And sometimes I must tell you, it's a lonely path to walk. And now I'm beginning to appreciate how even the few good people amongst us are losing their goodness. Because survival has become a battle in this jungle. It's just about surviving. Else will happen for us to really be enraged with the impunity and with all the nyama that is going on in the system.
Yeah, but that won't stop me from coming to last year starting from last year when, you started Amumudondu, and then the most prominent thing you did that time was resume and resign.
Yeah. In 2019.
Exactly.
And then yet nobody is saying anything about it. And the latest one now, young people are going around and shouting articulate. I don't know what they're articulating, And it seems to be, people are saying things like the lesser devil.
Wow.
Let's use lesser evil.
Yeah.
And I'm asking, evil no be evil. What is less about
evil? Yes.
So
I saw your comment on that.
Sometimes I get confused myself.
Yeah. But you can't afford to be confused because it's the same way too. But you know that it's also...
my confusion is not about giving up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what other strategy does one need to employ to get this message across?
Yeah.
for young people to know that this really is their future we're talking about.
So when I met you last year, we were discussing, and I had not even had any intention or even really been thinking about running for office.
Moment for us.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, the thing just fell apart.
Yes.
And it didn't work.
Yes.
So what went wrong, in your own opinion? What went wrong with that? Because you were among the first few people that I had spoken to about that, and you were.
Actually, I was the one who came to you, asking you to host all the young presidential aspirants in your house. But you did ask me if I knew who they were. That you only knew two people, myself and Ametri. And I was the one who gave you Fela Drotoye's number that night. And you called him and said, yeah, we're set to go. But it was also right here in your living room. You know, I remember sitting right across from about, I think about 10 of them that night, where someone said that, oh, we have spoken to the elders. I don't know if you caught that particular conversation, right? And they are looking for someone acceptable to them. And I rose up on that corner and said, I will never be part of a committee of young people who are going to present an acceptable candidate to the elders. And I don't know if you caught that, But before we came to your house, we had another meeting where we advised that instead of the motley crowd, we should all go to our parties, become candidates first, and before we start to, so that we can eliminate, we can do an elimination series. Because in all honesty, even at your house, we know that there were only three major candidates when we reached your house who could represent the youth. But we had others who were even shouting and talking more than others, who we knew even got into the race the day before. You said it, that I've never seen this many people. I didn't know that this many young people are running for office. But as you later found out, and you issued a statement, I think your group issued a statement that even the two people that went ahead from the two that I chose, to slug it out, you didn't think the operation was fair. Yes. But probably because I was clairvoyant, I'd seen that in advance, that it was set up to bring about that particular predetermined result. And that's why I pulled out. And when I pulled out, I told you that I couldn't be, I won't say pull out, because I said I couldn't be part of this because it looks like people are not going to, what we wanted was for a candidate can represent us. We can stand out there and go campaign for the person. If it is not one of us that want to be it. And I was looking forward to that. But it was very quickly clear that it wasn't going to get us to where I wanted. If we presented a candidate that was only acceptable to the elders, we would have still been doing the articulating thing now.
So what would you prescribe in moving forward now?
I think it's clear that already even the processes in the parties have eliminated a lot of the people you saw. I went back to Feladro to we met the other day. We went to see Professor Omoyele Sowore, so that we can start getting elders who have conscience on our side. When I mean on our side, on the side of the young people, candidates. And at that point, we can look at other parameters. Who has the strongest conviction, who has the most mass following, who young people can trust. There's no question about it that young people want a presidential aspirant that can lead them to El Dorado, And I believe that can exist within the few number of younger aspirants we have now. But it's not enough to just say, okay, we're going into another election. Let's get all the elders first who believe that there's a need for generational shift to be on our side. Shoyinka has promised that he'll do that. I have no doubt that you believe in that by way of your position on the articulated nonsense that is going on. As I said the other day, Atiku is not about to save Nigeria. It's about creating. But Atiku, if you see the people around him, you know that they are coming back with vengeance. You see even his campaign coordinator, Director General, Saraki. You see...
I understand the dynamics,
yes.
But my problem is this, individually on our own.
Yes.
Yeah? We don't have the structure that they have.
I actually disagree with structure. But yes, I was constituted. In my they do. They don't have structures. If they have structures, they will not have to buy votes in Osun. If they have structures, they will not have to buy votes.
Are they not buying votes because they are capitalizing? After all, they weaponize hunger.
Of course. What structures mean, Fada, is that you have created, systems in different constituencies around the country that can defend and help make people vote for you. The structure they have are the structures for bribery, corruption, intimidation, and visitation of evil on our people. That's the structure they have. It's a super structure that is so erosive and corrosive that people are just generally afraid of these structures. Most people have given up, they don't go out there. But the real structures that can make people win elections, they don't have those structures. We went around this country, we didn't see no structure, we didn't see no PDP structure, we didn't see APC organic structures. We are the ones who even went and created organic structures in places. But I agree with you, do they have money? Absolutely. Do they have the capacity to perpetrate evil? Definitely. But do they have the backing of the people of this country to continue to be treated like this? I'll say absolutely no, they don't.
Do you think INEC was fair in the Kitty and the Osun election?
INEC, I've always said this about INEC. INEC's job is to help elect the person in power. That is their primary job. It takes occasional flickers of that, different kind of mindset by the leadership of INEC to say, look, I want to create history for myself by doing something different. I want to be open and transparent. But if you look at within INEC itself, the structures, those of us who have been inside it or studied over years, they have a lot of dirty, rotten, systems in place, personalities in place, who are beholden to the systems. Who are beholden to systems.
Yes.
Both on the PDP side or the APC side. There are areas where PDP controls INEC, there are areas where APC controls INEC. The INEC chairman might be different. But how far can he go? Maybe on election day, he take helicopter, he can visit like 5 places before he gets exhausted. What happens to his men on the field who are doing all kinds of crazy things? So that is where it's important to have people now counter-ride or countermand INEC. That's where we need young people, because who are the people who carry ballot papers, ballot boxes, who carry out rigging? Young people. But they have realized that technology is countering some of the outright brazen stealing of election. That's why they have now resorted to using money to buy votes, what they call see and buy.
Do you think the young people like me, I didn't scratch that off.
Yeah.
That somebody like me would be fighting the fight for young people.
Yeah.
And they are missing in action.
Yeah.
And you can only find them on the social media ranting.
Yeah.
And when it's time to say, can we all come out and do some kind of intervention, you don't get to see anybody. Are they really ready for this change?
I think they are ready, but there's little or no conscious education of young people. You can understand, you mentioned about the weaponization of hunger.
Yeah.
There has also been a weaponization of ignorance. The universities, primary schools, and secondary schools were not destroyed for any reason other than to make sure that young people don't have the right kind of education that will make them become conscious of the environment, conscious of politics, conscious of the socio-political conditions. That's why they're destroyed. The children of the rich are not having those problems. They send them to universities where they can understand how to manage their parents' stolen wealth. They didn't send them to universities where they are going to learn how to overthrow their parents. But the ones here who are going to a secondary school, they just run them through the mills. So in our time when I was in the university, we had access to your likes without the school authorities chaperoning us. We had access to Ganefa or Femi Falana. Today, they will prefer to bring a musician who is singing about Bombom on campus, and they'll have people, the VC will even be there doing shaku shaku, than to bring you to a university campus to speak, because they'll say, well, if Charly Boy comes here, it's going to scatter our school. So we no longer have them. On top of that, we don't have student unions who are independent on their own, who can bring in the right kind of ideas that can make people be conscious. So these are places where you pick up consciousness. You pick up consciousness through literacy, and it is only through consciousness that literacy becomes education. Otherwise, being literate don't mean nothing. You can go to the university and be an idiot. Same way, you can travel abroad and have no exposure. Depending on what you're doing there, where you are, where you go there. You have been through all of this before, and I've seen it. 19 years in America. You meet some people who have lived in America longer than I have. They are so ignorant, so unexposed about even the American society. You wonder, where have you been? Have you been living under the tree?
So how do we circumvent all of this in terms of our messaging?
And I think that is where what we're doing is important. We should have more of your voice out there, more of the voices of people like you out there. That's why we're going around people who are of older generation. I won't say old, but people who have older ideas, who have consciousness, to keep putting what you're saying out and keep ensuring that what you're saying is repeated and not the articulation of retrogression that is become distinction. But guess me 2 years ago, or if they met me for the first time. But there's also a lot of young people who are rising up to me and saying, but Sowore has always said this for 30 years consistently. I brought out a lot of things in the course of this matter that people never thought were ideas that can become mainstream. But look at where we are today. Some of the ideas have become mainstream. And I love that. I love the fact that somehow we think that people are not hearing us. I think a lot of people pretend as if they are not hearing us because it's actually difficult to move from lethargy to action.
Yeah.
And what is lethargy? A lot of people are comfortable where they are. They are comfortable on Twitter. Suddenly you want them to go and be campaigning for a better Nigeria. You move them from Twitter to something more concrete. It's difficult for them. out there who said, hey, you should have kicked that ball that way. You should have kicked somebody's behind that way. And I would have been supporting a variety of positions. But now that I'm running, I even have better leverage to do it. So, and that is the reason why, even though we haven't had a single candidate, I'm still very close to so many of the candidates. And also, I'm critical of some of them and their position.
And let me ask you point blank.
Yes.
We've seen how money politics have come to play.
Yes.
We've seen how rigging has come to play.
Yes.
We see that sometimes INEC is not that independent.
Of course, I said that before.
Yeah. With all of this, what chances do the young people stand? People like you.
Yeah.
What
I made a statement at Celebration 2 days ago, and it's like, apart from just the expectation that we're going into election, there has to be a revolutionary fervor to this.
Yeah.
And the revolutionary fervor is that yes, we think we're going to win, and we're going to vote in an election, but there must be a backup plan. That look, we also understand that the odds are stacked against us. How do you do that? So there has to be neighborhood revolutionary guards
in terms of defending the
votes. Not only defending to still campaigning and make it clear that we're not accepting anything less than a free and fair election. And a free and fair election is only an election that helps you to elect a leader you want, right? Or the leader. So, and what I'm getting from a lot of young people is that they don't want these old people again. They might have who they want between the rest of the young people, which is fine. It's good to have that choice of diversity. But let us all come to a point where we say, we are doing an elimination series. These are things that are acceptable, and these are things that are not acceptable. Articulated is unacceptable to me. Buhari-related, or disrupted, whatever they want to call him, is unacceptable to me. Let me start looking at these other young people. And of all these young people, these are the people that are acceptable to us. Look, at the end of the day, if you're not voting for but more importantly, there has to be revolutionary fervor to it. There must be something that is clear to these old people, that these young people are not going to accept anything but freedom. And freedom is not the same thing as, cooked up election results.
If we have the misfortune of having PDP, God forbid, PDP or APC coming back next year, or they refuse to, or the people in power for now refuse to give it up,
yes.
What do you think our next move should be?
Our work will have just started at that point. I said something and I'll repeat that today. If you are planning for elections and a revolution happens, you're lucky. Or you do an election and it leads to a revolution, we are still lucky. And that's the way I want us to look at it. There are standards that we cannot, like you said earlier, there are things that are not going to be sustainable beyond now. There are leaders that are not going to be acceptable beyond now. It doesn't matter how they find themselves into power. Where people are just saying, look, there's a question of legitimacy. It's not acceptable. And until you draw the line, they will figure out how to win the election. It is not, our job is not how to win the election. Our job is to ensure that the election leads to something that will benefit Nigeria. And that's why we have presented ourselves. See, they have a chance now to even accept, and this might sound a little bit crazy. They have a chance to accept that, look, we have been so unfair to you young people. We are bailing out, right? We are not going to be part of it. But we know they will not do that. But young people can make it clear if we bond very quickly. They will understand that. Who are the people pushing articulated? They are the Twitter people. And I guarantee you that these are people between the age of 21 and 30. They are the people who are shouting articulated. You can see their age on Facebook. Their birthday are popping up every day. You're saying to yourself, how could you be this mean to yourself? Some of them are people who have asked me where I got my experience from. I forgot that when Atiku first contested for presidency, he was 42 years old in 1993. Ask yourself, in which state had Atiku been a governor at that time? In which local government had he been a councillor or chairman? Or in which House of Assembly had he been, or in which Senate had he been? In 1992, when Atiku contested to be president of Nigeria, he was in his early 40s, right? Today, that's 1992 is plus 30 years. That's why he's 70.
Most of them were youths.
Exactly. So they are now criminalizing youth. United Nations Secretary General, because I would have gone through all the gap, because I've been doing this for 30 years, and next year it would have been 30 years consistently for fighting for what is good. How about yourself, right? Who has done this since forever? I remember your song 1990, which is how I came to know you. It was a song about Babangida shifting the goalposts for the transition program, right? They still haven't changed shifting the goalposts. To experience political development, because the same people who annulled June 12th, imagine if they didn't annul Obiola's election, I would have been involved in governance perhaps since that time. By now you can't be saying that I don't have experience, but I have experience. I'm doing this for those who don't. I have experience. My experience is just different. I've not had paid experience or corruption experience or assassination experience. In the hotel, I said, Father, I will do it too. Just give my own side of the assignment. And you said this is your own side of the assignment. I don't want to disclose it in public. Go and do this. And except you came back and told me that I failed, which you haven't, I did my own religiously until the last day. And my job was to ensure that the whole world was aware of what we were doing, your whereabouts, information to the public. So if we had a shadow cabinet at that time, you know which role I was playing. And I don't think for one day, if I failed, nobody notified me that I failed in ensuring. And that was how we were able to save the situation. It was the reason we